So, you think building maybe a few Informatica Cloud mappings makes you ready to lead enterprise integration? Maybe think again. In today's world, cloud-driven, fast-moving, the difference between a good Informatica developer and a really great one, it's not just about knowing the tools, it's way more about strategic mastery.
Yeah.
So this deep dive, we're really getting into what sets that top-tier Informatica Cloud developer apart.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is how foundational Informatica Intelligent Cloud Services, IECS, has become. It's not just a collection of tools, right? Like cloud data integration, CDI, or application integration, CAI, or even data quality, CDQ. It's really the engine now for enterprise data, for application integration, often in these super complex hybrid setups. But like you said, the key isn't just clicking around the interface, knowing the how. Success, it really demands architects, developers who get the why. Why this approach? Why this tool? Anticipating the impact.
Okay, the why. You mentioned that turns a good solution into a great one. Can you maybe give us a real-world example? Where does that deeper insight really shine? Maybe reliability or handling those complex high-stakes scenarios?
Absolutely. Take advanced CDI skills, for instance.
Yeah.
True mastery isn't just, building pipeline after pipeline. It's knowing how to engineer maybe a single really dynamic mapping, one that can intelligently adapt to, say, hundreds of different data sources that could save months of dev time, right? And endless maintenance headaches down the line. Or figuring out why a data job that should take 5 minutes is dragging on for 5 hours, and knowing how to expertly use things like partition tuning, database pushdown, turn that bottleneck into something super fast. That's the difference,
Right.
Project dragging versus delivering fast efficiently. It's about building in reliability, anticipating failure points.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's moving beyond just the technical doing into, well, architectural foresight almost. But here's something I hear sometimes with all these specialized tools. Isn't better to just become like an absolute wizard in just one, say, CDI? Why is fluency across CAI and CDQ really, as you say, non-negotiable now?
Yeah, that's a really critical point, and honestly a common misconception. Look, CDI is powerful, no doubt, but the best IICS pros, they have a holistic view. They understand when to pull in CAI, not just for simple API calls, but for orchestrating these complex, real-time, maybe event-driven processes that connect totally different business systems. Think about automating entire workflows across different cloud apps in milliseconds. And they know when CDQ is vital, not just profiling data after the fact, but embedding real-time quality rules into the pipelines, catching errors before they mess up downstream systems. These aren't just nice to haves, they're fundamental for tackling today's, well, enterprise data chaos and turning it into something strategic, preventing those big, costly data errors.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So fewer, well, it worked on my machine
Okay.
kind of problems. How does that thinking extend to something like, say, secure agent mastery? What's the real depth needed there that marks out the top tier?
Exactly. That's spot on. Secure agent mastery, it's way more than just installing it and, crossing your fingers. It's understanding how to properly tune its memory for concurrent jobs, right? How to diagnose maybe subtle network latency issues that could be crippling your data transfers in a hybrid cloud setup, or even how to correctly configure resilient failover groups. So your critical integrations don't just stop if a server unexpectedly goes down. It's all about ensuring that enterprise-grade reliability and performance even in really challenging distributed environments. That level of insight, it saves massive amounts of troubleshooting time, prevents major business disruptions.
Okay, this is really insightful. So putting it all together, what does this mean for someone listening right now? Maybe they're a hiring manager looking for that top talent, or a developer wanting to level up.
Well, for hiring leaders, I think it means interviewing for genuine depth, not just ticking boxes on a feature list. Ask candidates how they've actually tackled complex performance bottlenecks, how they engineered secure deployments in a hybrid cloud, or maybe how they used CAI to build a specific real-time event-driven integration that solved a real business need. Certifications, sure, they're valuable, but it's that hands-on problem-solving ability, the why and how they solved real-world problems that really matters most.
And for developers listening, this sounds like a clear roadmap to making a much bigger impact. Mastering these areas really sets you up to lead those critical modernization projects, doesn't it? Big cloud migrations, complex real-time stuff.
Indeed, absolutely. Companies are actively looking for this exact blend, deep technical skill and that strategic business understanding. So if you're aiming to lead those key projects or maybe build an expert integration team, just consider this. True expertise, the kind that makes a real impact, it comes from that deep strategic understanding. It goes way beyond just the basic functions and that knowledge. That's precisely what companies are seeking right now to drive their most important transformative work.